Greetings and blessed salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Celtic Cross Foundation of Ministry in this public service announcement. I just want to take a few moments of your time and give you a little public service announcement from my heart. I have nothing written, and I just want to have a little talk with you. Well, I do the talking, you do the listening. I'm a very humble man, so please bear with me. This ministry is doing the best that we can. We have clergy literally around the world that are struggling and working under very extreme difficulties, trying to serve the Lord and its flock under very harsh conditions and virtually primitive conditions, under the very basic of conditions. I say this to try to touch your heart, and I guess that's what this message is truly all about, touching your heart. Over the past months and years, actually, I've reached out and tried to, in many ways, get you to get involved with this ministry, and we've been rather successful in many ways. Matter of fact, just last night I was talking with Bishop Todd Smith, my chaplain here in Ohio, and gave him some statistics, some analytics that I had come across and was dealing with. And when I was adding up the numbers, it occurred to me that through just one posting that I had put up on a number of our social media sites, and adding those numbers up, that in 2 days that we had touched over 1,500 people with that posting. And when you start looking at it from that standpoint and breaking that out over a week and a month, we're reaching an estimation just off of my personal social media sites about 50,000 individuals a week. And that was just off of one post. And I make dozens of postings in the course of a week and send them out throughout all of our many group pages on Facebook, on Twitter, on our three blogs. We have 2 websites for the ministry, and we are constantly updating those and keeping them fresh with material and things that the ministry is doing here locally in northern Ohio and around the world. But anyhow, with all that said, that's just what we're doing here at the headquarters for the global aspects of the Celtic Cross Foundation of Ministry. That's not counting what our other clergy are doing with their sites, nor what our chaplains are doing, nor what our monasteries are doing and our convents, nor what our Templars and our seminarians are doing as well. When you add up all of those in the course of a month and a year, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people we are reaching in this ministry and spreading the word of God and touching their hearts and bringing salvation to them. And that is truly a remarkable and blessing to our Lord Jesus Christ. And that's what we're doing this for, not for ourselves. And I say that because not one of us draw a paycheck for what we do. When I say that for this specific reason. We are in a campaign right now for Burundi, and we call it Operation Burundi. And my heart is extremely heavy because I've been working with one of our seminarians, Brother Martin, on this, and I'm bringing this out somewhat in the public right now in this video. And I'm not sure how long this video is going to last. I was only going to try to make it a few minutes, but it might go longer than that. But I really want you to listen and take to heart what I'm saying, because I don't know how to reach you. I don't know how to have you open your heart and help us to do what we're trying to do for the people of Burundi. Burundi is a very small country, and it is under siege by a very evil essence. And I say that because there is a genocide that is taking place. There is a civil war that is taking place. There is a democracy that is being, how do I want to say it, ignored, and a dictatorship that has taken place. And I say that because the Constitution of Burundi has a 2-year term, or a 2-term segment of 5 years. So it's 10 years. And the sitting president, Plea, is now on his 3rd term, which is going to be 15 years. So he's already broken the Constitution. And anybody that is objection to him and his cronies are literally killing. And they're going as far as chasing them down in other countries and killing them. I say this because Brother Martin, who is one of our seminarians, has been in exile in Cairo, Egypt, for the last year, and in hiding. And they found him. Not only did they find him, they beat him brutally within virtually inches of his life. He managed to survive, and he is now in hiding and recovering. And I will be speaking with him hopefully later this week, face to face, via Skype. They've stolen his computer, so they have access to a lot of correspondence and information, and a lot of people's lives are in jeopardy. Not just Martin and his family, who is, by the way, still in Burundi and very much in peril, and we hope remain safe, and we ask your prayers for that. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm telling you is real. People's lives are at stake. And Operation Burundi is about peace and stability. Hundreds of thousands and millions of people have fled for their life because they opposed the president, Plea. They have flown and fled, I should say. I apologize. I had 14 teeth extracted on April the 14th. And so my speech is a little bit slurred. So please bear with me on this. But like I said, I'm speaking from the heart as a friend and as your pastor. Someone who cares about you and about others around the world that cannot care for themselves and are very scared, literally, for their lives. But these people have fled to places like Tanzania, Uganda, the Republic of Congo, I'm sorry. Like I said, I can't get the words out all the way properly, and elsewhere. And you know that these areas that I just mentioned are already economically depressed. So when you take 1 million people or more and throw them into these regions, well, that puts a lot of strain on their economic aspects, on their resources, on their law enforcement and security enforcements, their medical attributes. I know for a fact that there are a lot of agencies trying their very best and doing their very best to help the refugee situation over in this portion of the world. Now, that's not putting any less credence on other refugee situations around the world at this point. But what we need to remember is, and I look at it this way after studying and listening and reading and talking about what is happening in this portion of the world, Burundi, to me, is the key to peace and stability in this entire region of what is known as the Great Lake region of Africa. And if Celtic Cross Foundation Ministry can help in any aspect of that, with your help, to bring peace and stability, we're not trying to overthrow President Pierre. Matter of fact, we're in this for the long haul. We're in this for a commitment of 5 years. In other words, for his whole third term. Let him have his term. Let him have his glory and his reign. Let the democracy and the democratic process go. Let the international process work itself through. We'll work with that. We're working with organizations like Refugees International. We're working with, through them, the United Nations. We're working with other organizations. We're setting up relationships with Aspen Dental, for example. We know for a fact that they're over in Tanzania right now, helping the refugees with their dental needs, free of charge. Ladies and gentlemen, many organizations are doing what they can to help relieve the pain and suffering that these innocent, God-fearing, God-loving individuals are going through. Well, here's the catch-22. Refugees International has asked us, the Celtic Cross Foundation of Ministry, to help raise funds. Why? Because there are shipping containers, large shipping containers, of food, clothing, fresh water, medical supplies, educational materials, housing materials like tents and things of that nature. We're talking building materials. We're talking all kinds of things, toiletries, like soap, toothpaste, toilet paper, things that we use every day but take for granted. These things are sitting on docks and in warehouses by the tens of thousands of tons, but they need to be paid for. They're already there, ready to be shipped directly to the refugees. Ladies and gentlemen, but there's no money. And if there is, there's very little of it. So for the last 2 months, we've been campaigning. We've put out on our ministry's social network and through our group pages and our blogs and on our websites a plea for your help, to help in Operation Burundi, to help the refugees in Burundi, to help people like Brother Martin and his family. In 2 months, we've raised only $30. 30 US dollars. When I saw the analytics last night of one posting that reached over 1,500 people in 2 days, I was very blessed by that, because it dealt with a posting that talked about what comes from the mouth comes from the heart. And I was very blessed with the fact that people acknowledged that and accepted that and understood that message. But what breaks my heart is, out of 1,500 people in 2 days, I know for a fact they could not have missed the many messages, the many messages and banners that illustrated the need for help for Operation Burundi, with links going directly to our GoFundMe page and links going directly to our website, to the donate buttons, to the PayPal account. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not asking for thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. We're asking for, and if you think about it, $1. Think about it from this standpoint. If the 1,500 people in the last 2 days that acknowledged that one post about what comes from the mouth comes from the heart had taken the time that it took to read that message, that's all the longer it would have taken to make that $1 donation on any of those sites that I just mentioned. That would have been $1,500 going to help and getting fresh food, fresh water, clean clothes, toiletries, new tents after dust storms, rainstorms, whatever. We here in the United States especially live far better than everybody else. I get inundated on a daily basis from people around the world begging, pleading for financial help. And it breaks my heart to turn them to them and say, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I wish I could, but I can't. I don't personally have the money. I don't draw a paycheck. I do this 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and have for 7.5 years. I barely make enough to make my own personal rent. Ladies and gentlemen, I just had a bout with death, a very close bout with death. In the last 2 weeks, I had 2 trips to the ER, and the second trip put me in the hospital for 4 days. I have a wonderful team of doctors and nurses that managed to get me back on my feet and get me to where I am today so I can sit here before you. But when I came back, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm scared for these people. And I don't understand how folks can just turn away. How we can turn away to the point where, knowing we're going to be standing before Christ, accountable for our actions. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not good people. That doesn't mean that we don't give to charities. That doesn't mean that we haven't given to other things. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I know that you've given so much to so many other things. But I'm wondering, are those other things as worthy? Are the people that you're giving them to worthy as the people that are suffering that I'm talking about today to you now? I'm just asking you to look into what I'm talking about. On our Facebook page, you'll find information about Burundi. Matter of fact, we have a newspaper. Matter of fact, on ChristiansUndergroundNetwork.com, it's our entire media program. All of our media network is logged right into that. And we have an entire newspaper section. Matter of fact, 10 different newspapers dealing specifically with certain regions around the world. And one deals specifically with Burundi and the region around it. And you can go right to that and get more information from journalists and stories of what's happening there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I'm asking you to do, is to look into what I'm talking about. And if it does touch your heart, please please, I'm begging you, because I don't know how to touch your heart and get you to help otherwise. Get you to share the postings that I place. Get you to start to comment on it. Yes, we have several of our parishioners and our congregants, and I say parishioners and congregants because we are a very unique ministry. We have broken the barrier of the church that has separated Christ's church. We are Old Catholic and non-denominational Protestant, which have come together, united, working together as one in Christ Jesus. That's what Jesus wants. At least that's what he's told me. And that's what we all in the Celtic Cross Foundation of Ministry have been working so hard for these last 7 years. From the Philippines to Africa to Russia to India and Pakistan to the Caribbean to here in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. I'm very proud to be the head and very humble leader of such godly men and women that are doing their absolute best, working with veterans of the military here in the United States, those that are wounded and despondent and trying to readjust to civilian life, those that have been back for years and are building this nation and standing firm on the principles of the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, the war is very real in what is happening in our world right now. I'm not going to go as far as say it's Armageddon, but I think we're on the threshold of it. We already know that we're in the end of times. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it time that we start to be the Christians that Christ wants us to be? And be a little less selfish and self-centered? I'm not saying that we shouldn't take care of ourselves, because we have to. But we could take a little bit less of ourselves and give it to someone else. In other words, what I'm saying is, if you can give $1 or $2 or $3 right now to Operation Burundi, it will make a difference in someone's life who really, really needs it, and needs it now. That's all I'm asking. If you can give more, that will be greatly appreciated. And the nice thing about it, you can do it even anonymously. And I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to ask your favor. If you know of a celebrity and they're a personal friend of yours, ask them, talk to them about this. Ask them to get in touch with us, to help us, to stand with us. Look, we don't have money to go out and hire a marketing company to do what we're doing right now. This is the best that we can do to get this information out to you. And we're going to keep doing it. We will not falter, and I will not relent, and I will continue to come at you until I can get you to help. You're going to do one of two things. You're either going to unfriend me and walk away, and turn away, or you're going to start bad-mouthing me, or you're going to start whatever, or you're going to turn around and help. Share our messages. Talk with people. Challenge what I'm saying. Investigate what is happening in Burundi for yourself. And if you don't want to help us directly, go to refugiesinternational.org and donate directly to them for Burundi. I mean, they help a lot of other around the world. But if you care about what I'm talking about as passionately as we do here at the Celtic Cross Foundation of Ministry and our entire organization around the world, our Templars, our seminarians, our monasteries, our convents, our pastors, our priests, our dioceses, our archdioceses, me. Go to our website, go to our GoFundMe page. It will get to them. I promise. Please help. I want to thank you for taking the last 20, 25, 30 minutes with me. If you have any questions, go to our website or email me at info@celticcrossministry.com. And if you do have that personal friend that can help, might be a philanthropist, might be a celebrity, might be a corporate executive, we'll take all the help we can get. Send them to me. info@celticcrossministry.com. I'd be happy to talk to them. This is Andrew Patrick of the Celtic Cross Foundation of Ministry saying God bless, and have yourself a very, very blessed day. We'll talk to you again soon. Enjoy.